Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hi. Burr. And the wind is blowing our tripod over. I'm gonna have to move on the other side of the truck. Hang on, folks. Hang on, hang on. The wind is blowing me over. You bring the chair. Hey, you're fine, baby. Well, I I don't know that that's gonna help. We might just stand right here out of the wind. All right, here we go. Anybody have questions today? Feel free to ask them. I'm just letting everybody get logged on. I don't know what all we're going to talk about today. See if I can make this a little bit better so you guys aren't staring at me funky. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me at least?
Yes, we can.
All right, awesome. I've been out on an adventure all week. It's been rather interesting. um, I went through God, I can't even tell you all the places I've been. Um, I've been to Moab and the national monuments, and it's just been an amazing adventure. So that's how my week's gone. I've been on an adventure out in the middle of the boonies, and I'm still there, see? Still in the middle of the desert.
A quick
Yeah.
question, Patty.
Yeah.
I remember a while ago, a long time ago, you said you wanted to check out the residential market in Alaska, and I know you went there. What did you think of all that?
It depends on where you want to be in Alaska.
Well, Juneau is the most populated. I guess that's the area, no?
Well, I don't know. Anchorage is also very populated. Um, Ketchikan, not so populated. Um, Here's what I could tell you. When I went to Ketchikan, there was two big apartment complexes. When I say big apartment complexes, they had I'm sorry, a squirrel just happened to my brain. Um, they have two big apartment complexes, and when I say big apartment complexes, they're not like you and I think big apartment complexes are. Okay? But I would say they're probably maybe 30 to 50 units each building, and that's it. They have two larger apartment communities, and everything else is just homes, duplexes, things of that nature. So if I were going to buy, I would probably buy in Ketchikan because you're right, Juneau and Anchorage are more populated. And for me, I mean, Anchorage is massive. I don't want to compare it to Los Angeles because it's not, but it's got almost 1 million people living there. It's got 3 shopping malls in Anchorage. I mean, it's big. So definitely something to take into consideration. Um, Not as big as Los Angeles, but we don't want them to get crazy with some rent control ideas. You also have to take into consideration who you're going to have collect the rent for you and who you're going to have do your repairs when you're dealing with things out of the state. Okay. So I have a question. I saw that somebody's on here and I've been chit-chatting with her prior to the meeting today, but she hasn't owned up. I want to share a story, but I don't know if I can. Margie, if you can hear me and I can share your story, please let me know because what's happening to you is freaking garbage. And I don't have to share it. It's okay. This guy's got a little too much time on his hands. My deserty adventures. Sorry, you guys. I'm a little haggard, huh? Just a bit. Got my hair up. Yeah, here we go.
Where are you now?
I am just outside of Nipton. Do you know where that is?
I have no idea.
I'm just above the Mojave Preserve. I'm just shy of state line Prim, Nevada.
Or up north, where the almost the borderline of Nevada and California line, right?
Correct, correct. I'm right up in those deserty mountains right there. Enjoying my day.
Don't forget to fill up on gas before you cross into California.
I gassed up at $4 and I think 12 cents a gallon or something. Somewhere we got gas, it was like 3.90, I think. It was insane. It's been fun. Yes, Clark said was like, we're buying gas in Nevada or Arizona, not in California. It's been a wonderful, magnificent adventure. Um,
Patty, can you hear me?
I can.
Were you asking me about telling a story about me?
Yeah, can I share your story and what your jerk tenant or the guy's doing to you? He's not even a tenant.
See, I think you have the wrong person.
Okay, never mind. Sorry.
That's okay.
I got another one of you. Same
Okay.
first name.
Oh, okay. No, I'm the one up in Pismo.
Okay, there's another Margie that's dealing with a problem where, and now that I think about it, she's not a member, so she couldn't get on here anyway. Okay, check this out. So she had a lady living in her house, okay, in her rental, single family residence. And all of a sudden, the lady's like, I'm moving out. I'm moving out. She's lived there for like 10 years. She's bailing. Something's going on, right? Because she's like, I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm sorry it's such short notice. I'm leaving in 15 days. I mean, this chick's like tuck tail and bail, okay? Something's chasing her. So, and I find about this later, but you guys all listen because I'm going to share the story anyway, hoping that none of you get bit into this, okay? And this gentleman shows up and he says that he's the brother of the lady that's moving out, or the son. I don't remember. The son or the brother. Anyway, they're related. I think it's the son now that I think about it. It's the son. And he says, I'm going to go ahead and move in here and fix the place up and pay the rent that I agree upon of $1,500, blah, blah, blah. And the landlord's like, dude, I don't even know who you are. Well, guess what? Sister moved out, son or brother, whoever he is, broke in and moved in, claiming tenancy, saying that he rented there, whatever. So my friend paid him $1,000 to get out and had him sign a release and a cash for keys offer saying that he'd hold her harmless.
What city is this? What city?
San Bernardino County. Do you know this Nimrod just got out of jail? That's why the original tenant ran, is he knew where she lived and she didn't want any part of it. She knew what was coming. So this guy's now trying to hold my friend for $20,000. He sent her a demand letter for $20,000. I told her, tell him, thank you for playing the game, but if you don't cease and desist communications with me immediately, I will file a civil restraining order against you. Go away. I know it's all BS because if he wanted to sue her for and not have to hire an attorney or go through general civil paying over $1,500 to file the case, he would have to file in small claims and the limit on that is 12,500. So he isn't even talking to anybody and has no idea what he's doing. Right? Nobody gets sucked into the garbage. If the family member all of a sudden is running away like a chicken with their head cut off and there's someone that wants to step in for them, remember this scenario because it happens more than you would imagine. Remember, I worked at an eviction law firm. It's insane how many family members have to evict other family members.
Couldn't she say she was going to go to his parole officer?
Thanks, Arlene. I love you.
I don't know. I've never dealt with anything like that, but I would think that there's some recourse there.
Yeah. Please don't make me report this to the parole board.
Mm-hmm.
Or the probation officer.
Yeah,
I
right.
like that.
Yeah, probation. Yeah.
Still it's probation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm eating my lunch. Sorry,
if he puts
guys.
that out, I'm sure they're tracking what's going on.
Clark drove us up here on this beautiful hill up to an old abandoned mine and set up the canopy so I would be in the shade and put out the love seat and made everything so perfect. And then the wind came and blew over the tripod. Like, oh, he's trying.
Can I share what I shared with you the other day?
Absolutely. And then also I'm going to let everybody know that if you haven't signed up for the webinar this week with AGLA, I believe there's something going on with fair housing.
Thursday.
If you guys have the opportunity to sign up for that, do. Also, the following week, it's either Monday or Tuesday, I'm doing a live webinar with them on habitability issues.
And they're doing two webinars on the new forms.
This Friday.
Well, it's like they're doing it like 3 or 4 days. They're repeating it.
Yes, I'm doing one this Friday, and then next Wednesday I have 2. I told him I'm doing 3 webinars in one day. You guys are killing me, Smalls. I'm gonna be on TV a lot. All right, I'm trying not to find a rattlesnake today, but I would like to find a turtle. And everything so far that I've said I wanted to find, we found. So today I want to find a turtle, a desert turtle. I got to feed some wild donkeys. I know, it's not that crazy. Mark's walking around here somewhere. I should probably make sure he doesn't fall in a mine shaft. Oh, I see him. He's over there. Okay. Anybody else have anything? Oh, Arlene, please tell us what you found out the other day.
Yeah, I've been busy trying to find out what the deal is for LARSO for rent increases for July. And I went to the AOA convention a couple of weeks ago, spoke to Brennan, spoke to Block. They all said, 90%, 2.7. So I wasn't happy with that answer. So I kept going and I called LAHD. Chris, I finally got response from the capital improvement people like you did. And I became friendly with
Mine wasn't capital improvement. Mine was just a regular LAHD thing, and it was regarding their thing about condos and houses. Well, condos with a post 1996 tenancy are RSO, but only as to relocation assistance, and it's basically makes it a JCO. The rental restriction isn't there, and so long as on a condo you have the AB 1482. Did I say it right, Patty?
Yes, yeah, 1482.
As long as you have the magic language about, and you are exempt because of the, how it's owned or whatever. As long as you're exempt from the 1482, then you're only subject to whatever the amount.
Mm-hmm.
You're not capped at the RSO amount for a condo, is what I'm saying. Yeah. They try and make it sound like you are and try and trick you and whatever, but you're not.
Okay, that's interesting.
You still probably have to. My guess is the part the time limits and and formalities are probably like the same, but when push comes to shove, like I have an email that I can share about with you, even with their answer about condos. So, and it's kind of hard for, it'd be very difficult for somebody to go into court, you know, and argue otherwise if you've got like the answer from the actual administrative agencies that's in charge of administering the ordinance.
Well, thank you for the info. So I made friends with the lady with the capital improvements and told her what was going on because it's not her area, but she has people that she knows. And so I said, you know, if you have time, can you please look into it for me? And she got back to me and said, I talked to a colleague, it's 3%. So I said, okay, well, that's fine. But so now we've got two attorneys saying 2.7 and you saying 3. I contacted my city council person and spoke with the field deputy, and we've become friendly. And so she went to bat for me. And I got an email yesterday saying, hello, Arlene. LAHD director stated, yes, it is 3% now and for the next fiscal year.
But the fiscal year for LA City like ends in July, doesn't it?
But it says, yes, it's now and for the next fiscal year.
Until July of 2027. I've seen the document.
Yeah. But I mean, this is for a multifamily, I assume, because
for LA RSO.
Okay.
So
anything governed by RSO. So that's what she got.
I hope you got something in writing, right?
I have it.
She does.
Okay. I have it. I sent it to Patti and I sent it to Dan.
Okay. No, just because you want to have it in case, you know, you ask the judge to take judicial notice of that when plaintiff's attorney.
I have 2 emails, one from 2 different people, 2 different departments, and this says per the director of the LAHD.
Yeah, well, you're fine. Then you could always subpoena the employees. You're fine.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, you know, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have a question, Patti, because Block is saying that if you have JCO property, that you can only move back into your property if you have language in your lease saying that at some point you or a family member would want to move back into the property. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm not sure why there would have to be language in there as to that.
No, I don't know either.
That doesn't,
you still have to pay, pay one month's rent to get them out.
Again, it may be just what he's willing to argue or not argue.
Okay. If I wanted to put that language in, can I just do a change of tenancy and just put that language in and or call it an addendum?
Yes, as long as they're on a month to month.
Yeah, they are. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I think that's not a bad idea.
Okay, I'll do it and I'll run it by you. Thanks.
Okay, somebody asked me, and I'm just going to share this with you guys, about the new refrigerator law. So everybody pay attention, okay? They want to offer a lower rent if the tenant is providing their own refrigerator. Pay attention. Let's say that you lower the rent $150 because the tenant's bringing their own refrigerator. There's nothing protecting you that in 3 days they won't tell you that they need you to provide a refrigerator for them. And now they're locked in at the lower rent. Okay? Don't use a refrigerator for a way to save money or make money at this point. It's like a water heater. It has the same rules. If it's not working, they don't owe rent. Period. Okay? So just think about that when you're renting. We're seeing a lot more creative rent incentives, aka, hold on, concessions. That's the word I was looking for. Durr. Um, think about what you're offering out there. I see a lot of things like 6 months free parking. That's great. 6 months free storage, 3 months free this. That's perfect. Make sure you're putting it in language in an addendum in your lease contract or in the actual lease itself, not just a copy of the ad to go with it. That doesn't suffice in court. And if you're doing something like offering, and I'm just going to tell you how I've done it in the past, so pay attention. If you're offering a free month's rent, we usually offer that free month's rent on month 13 after they've paid 12 months of rent on time. Because if they miss a month, we're not going to give them the free rent. Okay? So usually we do it at month 13 is where we give the free month of rent when we're giving a full free month of rent, because we don't give it to them in the beginning, because in the beginning we want the money, and if they don't pay us anymore, now they've lived there for 30 days. Oops. So if you're going to give a free month of rent, you want to do it on the back end of the contract, not at the beginning. Okay? If you do give it at the beginning, I'm choosing my words carefully. One, because I can hear Chris going, watch yourself. One may choose to put it in an addendum as a lease term that reads that in the event they don't fulfill their lease contract as agreed, then the concession of 1 month's free rent does no longer apply and will be added to the tenant's ledger. Okay, you guys paying attention? If you're putting in something for the tenant to get it free or some kind of a concession, make sure you're putting it in the lease contract. But also, if they don't fulfill the contract, you don't want to be stuck with paying the concession. Okay? So in the event this lease, I mean, what if they only live there for 3 months, break the lease and move out, and you gave them 2 months rent free? Ouch. Paying attention? So we want to do it on the back end of the lease. We want to put language in the lease or in an addendum protecting us. And in the event you need my help, call me up, contact your legal counsel. They'd be more than happy to help you. I can give you an idea, but not advice. Okay? But just think about this. I'm seeing a lot more concessions going on. So what I try to do is pull out all the mistakes and all the errors other people make when they're offering concessions. Also, for those of you that have a multi-family unit, in other words, you have apartments, pay attention because this is going to apply to you in a very rapid fashion, okay? And it sucks. But what happens is an existing tenant will give you a 30-day notice that they want to move out, only to reapply at the building to move back in. And while you're standing there going, why? They want whatever concession you're offering. Oh, they want that first month's rent is $100. They want that. That's what they're after. But instead of you repainting and recarpeting when they move out and having to flip a vacant, just give them the concession and let them stay there in their unit. You have to do it anyway from a fair housing perspective. If you do it for one, you have to do it for everyone. Okay? Equal. It's not fair, it's equal. Okay? Do for one, you got to do for everyone. So with that said, keep that in mind, please, when the concession wars are beginning. I am telling you, I am seeing them out there, and we're all trying to utilize them and figure out how to rent our vacant properties. Corporate America, when I talked to them the other day, we're running anywhere from 8 to 17% vacancy rate. Us mom and pops with 1 or 2 rentals, we can't afford that. If you have a single family residence, it's an eye for an eye, right? Oh, yeah. Um, Anybody else have anything? I just want you guys to be very careful with the concession wars, because that's why we call them wars, because you'll be in competition with something across the street or across town, and you guys will just be bantering. It's like you drive to work and it's like, oh, they're lower $10 than I am this month. I got to change it this week. Oh, it's Tuesday. We know this is the MLS day and we want to be in the top of the listing. So today we're going to add another thing, free storage for 6 months. We're going to see a lot of people giving things away rather than lowering their base rent amount because they all want to be over the threshold amount. It may be how the government's trying to control what we're doing. Oh, they put in a threshold amount and we don't want to lower our rents to be under it, right? We may have to come close to meeting it in order to continue forward, but God only knows what's going to happen. My crystal ball is broken. Anybody have anything else for me?
Patty, it's me, Christina. I
Hi.
wanted to bring up the question that I asked you earlier that we can maybe run by Chris.
Well, anybody, I said, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I have a corporate client that is requesting housing walking distance from the LA Convention Center. If anybody does have anything, whether it's apartments or a single family home, I don't think there's any single family homes walking distance, but if you have any units that are walking distance or know anybody who does, I would greatly appreciate if you can contact me and then we can talk about what it's a lot more detail.
In other words, help our girl out. She does a lot of temporary rentals, insurance claim rentals, vacation rentals, things of that nature. And just short-term rentals in general. Sometimes they need them for attorneys dealing with a huge case. I mean, you never know what somebody's going to need housing for, depending on what's going on. But a lot of times, she's able to find them housing for whatever their needs are, whether it be from an insurance claim or something else going on. So, Christina, if somebody has something, I'm sure we'll reach out to you because we're having problems renting our vacants, right, guys?
Thank you.
No problem. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, I want to share something. There was a webinar this last week with AGLA, and they were talking about insurance. And so I decided to shop my policy since it's coming up for renewal. And the person who gave the webinar I thought was exceptional. It's one of the best webinars I've been to. And I sent my policy for him to look at. And there were 5 things missing that were really critical and important that I didn't have, that I didn't even know about. So I was able to get them added to my policy, but I was very impressed with this person. And if anybody's looking, I would suggest giving him a yell.
All right, perfect. Thank you, Arlene.
Hey, what were the things you were missing? I'm just curious. If you mind sharing.
I don't mind sharing, but give me a minute because I got to find them.
And I was teasing you, Arlene, when you said one of the best webinars you've been to. I was like, hey, what about me, man?
I should say on insurance. But I learned a lot.
Good.
Okay, so one of them was business property coverage.
Okay.
One was increased period of restoration coverage, both of which I didn't have on my policies.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Post loss ordinance or law, that I didn't have. Extended period of indemnity increased to 360 days. And We talked about terrorism coverage.
Huh, okay. The webinar was on AGLA, and I'm sure AGLA has a copy of it. Someone's
It's
asking.
on their library. Yeah.
Everything's on the AGLA library. If you guys are AGLA members, you can do something funny, okay? Check
Was it
this.
Kern or it was another one?
Well, they used to be Kern. Now they're Trucordia.
Oh, okay.
But it was Ben Sardo, and he's very knowledgeable.
Hey,
I was quite impressed, and he was very nice and willing to help me. And and I told him, I'm being upfront with you. I'm shopping it. I'm not prepared this year to change, but he was certainly willing to help me.
that's awesome.
And review the policies. So
okay, somebody else was about to ask something, I thought. Am I crazy? Nobody was asking something? Okay.
No, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. This is Marion, and I wanted to ask Darlene, did she feel that they were competitive, or were they exceptionally high, or were they competitive in their opinions? Insurance company.
we did, he thought that the policy that I had, I should stick with at this point, but he thought that I should add these things to it, which I did. And I just got heard from the agent, the original agent. It was only like $120 more for all of that to be added.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
No, but now I feel like at least I have coverage, but I didn't even know what to ask or what I should have. So
That was for a multi-unit or a single family or
multi-unit
multi-unit?
RSO, yeah. And it's old. It's a 1936 property, so it's really hard to insure.
But it's beautifully maintained.
Good, thank you.
Which is so weird for me that it shouldn't be so hard to insure. Can you please talk about the new law that passed about being able to evict tenants a bit easier? Yeah, why don't you tell me about what you're talking about? Because I'm clueless. Who passed it? What is it? What are you talking about, baby? And if it's the expedition of time, I'm gonna laugh.
Agla, supposedly Raul just told me about it. I don't know much. That's why I was asking you. He said he got something from Agla regarding it.
Okay. I have had my headset off since I started.
It was
this.
a court,
appeals court decision
an appeals court decision today
Okay.
or when?
last week.
He said he saw it last week.
Okay. And I'll look it up as soon as I get back into the office and see what you're talking about. I don't know that they're, honey, they got to do so much to make evictions easier. I mean, they're allowing, how do I say this? They gave them this much and they freaking ran with it. Okay? Breaching the warranty to provide habitable premises is a real thing. I mean, you can look up the case. It's Strasburger versus Green, I believe. It's Green. And then Green turned around and sued the state of California Superior Court for evicting him because the house wasn't habitable. But at the time, they didn't have anything regarding habitability. They didn't have any rules regarding habitable premises. They didn't have anything saying if you don't have hot and cold running water, the tenant doesn't owe rent. Okay? They created that because of it. So we've come a long way with breaching the warranty to provide habitable premises, but now it's almost like they're using it against us in every aspect. Oh, I lived in a house for 15 years And for the whole 15 years I lived there, there was a broken switch plate cover. That's a habitability issue. I didn't know rent. It's bullshit, okay? And I agree with some things that are habitability issues I get, but let me ask you guys a question. Do you have any cracked electrical outlets in your own house? In your house, where you live? Are any of those cracked? What about your switch plate covers? Did you tighten the screw too tight and crack the switch plate? Did you do that? And you left it up there? Because that's a reason for them to withhold rent. Yep, no joke. Okay, think about what I'm saying, because it's that easy, that simple, and it's ridiculous. All right, anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
Well,
Maddie, I wanted to say something. I wanted to put an ad in the paper, and when I told the guy, put this within walking distance to a shopping center, he said, you cannot do that. It's against
Nope.
ADA. Did
Correct.
you know that?
Yes.
mhm.
It was very
Yes.
interesting to hear that.
It's not
You can't
within.
say walk-in closet. You can't say walking distance. You can't say that.
Correct. Close proximity to. Near.
That's what I was gonna say.
Nearby, schools, shopping.
I personally think that's stretching it a little bit. And I know I used to do ADA, but
The reality is, it isn't, because there's some gimme goblin out there that's going to press the law. Right? Some gimme goblin's going to press the law.
oh, I know. I had to work for a guy who had professional plaintiffs, and that's all they would do, basically.
Thank you, Lorena, for sending me that. I can't look at it right now, but I'll look at it as soon as I get back in the shade and I can see my screen better.
So,
Yeah, there was a news alert from AGLA on the 15th last week that LA County is extending their emergency price restrictions through May 28th now.
Oh, isn't that nice of them?
Mhm.
Oh, but we did get one other win. Apparently they declared, so they declared this, the county supervisors declared a state of emergency for the ICE actions, but then county council must have widened the F up because Lindsay Horvath's eviction moratorium on the basis of that didn't even get a second in the full chamber or whatever. Not getting a second is pretty definitive.
Yeah, I'm pretty upset that they're extending the protections for the wildfires. I mean, come on.
Yeah. At least it's a fire and not federal law enforcement action. Regardless of how you feel about it one way or the other, it's still kind of hard to call it an emergency.
This is me. Everybody knows how I feel about this. I have direct family members that have been affected by the fire. No joke, okay? No joke. She still can't move back in to her own freaking house because they have not connected the water, the power, and the gas in the neighborhood. Okay? Let alone trying to clean it up and restore it, because when the water fell from the helicopters, it broke through her skylights and then it made this muddy muck all over everything. Everything. Okay? Anyway, I can't see that we're still extending these protections for them. It's ludicrous that they're holding landlords' foot to the fire about just market value rent. I mean, it's bad enough they just doubled the threshold in DCBA, right? They doubled the threshold as of April 15th.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it's just, first you tell us the threshold, then you double the threshold. Make up your mind. Which way are we going here, What are we
Patty,
do?
Patty, I found the thing that Agla was talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Agla has secured a decisive victory on behalf of the rental housing providers in a legal challenge involving two local ordinances. State of California Appeals District 2 invalidated a City of LA ordinance that required rental housing providers to pay substantial relocation fees in certain circumstances, while upholding a second ordinance prohibiting owners from initiating eviction proceedings until the amount of unpaid rent reached 1 full month of fair market rent. So I think the relocation they won the relocation and the threshold.
Yeah, but it depends on like what specific circumstances, because there are a lot of different circumstances that under the ordinance where you owed relocation. So
Right. I know they're also trying to change the relocation amount in Larso to some god awful amount. And I don't want to say the amount because it will make both Arlene and Chris go, "What did you just say, Patty?" And it was enough to make me throw up in my mouth. It was upwards of 100 grand.
well, then we're just gonna sell in 1031 and there's nothing to do about it.
I know a broker. Being funny, you guys.
Pastor Hawkins spoke the market.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, we have all these vacancies and they're building 3,000 units in Beverly
We
Hills.
don't have a housing crisis. We have a homeless problem.
Right.
Yeah,
I will scream it.
I keep
Oh, I'm
driving around
doing
West
it.
LA and I see all these like mixed use. There are plenty of vacancies all over the place. There's
Yeah, exactly.
Let the market. I mean, I guess it's skewed because of Prop 13. I hate to say,
The market needs to adjust. We
let the
need a
market
crash
adjust.
to happen.
All those developers and people are going to have to start dropping rent in some of those buildings to fill them up.
They're gonna have to, and they're the ones that set the standard for the rest of us. The problem is I hope they find the standard before they blow the roof off the joint. I hope everybody understood what that meant.
I have a friend that is a builder,
Uh-huh.
and he says he has to pay $500,000 to access the water and gas in order to bring it to the apartment.
Okay, tell him to start looking in to tax credit properties and low-income housing.
I shall.
Okay, no joke. Tax credit properties and low-income housing, because the rebates they're giving to builders on taxes are insane. The government's trying to do this, okay? I mean, they're basically paying some builders to build properties. It's very interesting what's happening. We're seeing a lot of multifamily housing started but not finished. Remember I said that, okay?
I see plenty of it finished that's clearly mostly vacant.
Exactly. But now we're having a lot of it coming through that is not finished. It started and then it just ceases to go forward any further.
Why do you think that is?
They understand how much money it's actually going to take and they weren't prepared for that, would be my guess.
Well, and then look at the political climate and how it keeps being hostile, like more and more hostile every month, it seems like.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently I'm hungry, you guys, because I'm looking for snacks. It's lunchtime, right?
So back a few conversations earlier, you had mentioned about these professional tenants that will go in and not even tell you, the owner, that they might have something cracked down. You don't live with them, so obviously you don't know when they have an issue until they, pick up the phone or send you a message when you know they have an issue. So are you saying that they can just go in and file a complaint against you without notifying you, and then sue you or not pay the rent because you didn't know that they had a cracked plate or anything like that? They have to notify you, give you ample time, am I right?
We can only remedy upon notification.
Yeah.
The channels that they're taking now to set us up for failure rather than just to do business like normal folks is ridiculous.
Yes, yes.
They could just call us and tell us they have a repair, but they don't. Instead, they call the city, and then the city sends us a nasty letter. And we're like, wait a minute, we didn't even know about this. What are you talking about? I'm a good landlord.
You're exactly right. That's exactly what happened to me, what you described. Instead of contacting me, it's all about getting money, and she's
They
talked.
gimme goblins. Gimme goblins.
Oh, this one is one out of the history books. I mean, it should go in the history books. This one is like every single month, give the owner something to do, but don't tell her. Just call LAHD or contact the Department of Building and Safety or contact just all of these things, all to harass me, and she'll say I'm harassing her, but it's her deliberate attempt to harass me, call it harassment on her, and it's all made up because she's been successful, which I did not know. It did not show at the time I had had taken in her application. She's been doing this crap for 21 years with success.
Look, the most important thing you do as a landlord is screen tenants, in my humble opinion.
That's exactly what I did. And what I'm telling you, sir, it did not show up. I have the cold screening. I had AGLA to do the screening. So I have the report. It did not show.
Yeah, but you gotta like check for litigation and stuff too. No.
I know now. I know now because I thought that that's what they were doing, checking the records to see if there were any.
No. Well, I consider trying to do some litigation screening to be essential at this point. You want to know whether someone's litigious or not.
Yes, I will do that from now on. You can take it to the bank.
Chris, can you do that online or do you have to go down to the Superior Court?
You can do it online.
You can do live
the
online.
Vexatious litigant list.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but not even that. I mean, like you don't want to see, depends whether you don't want to see too much action in small claims, a lot of stuff shows up on a site called Unicourt, I think. So you really want to make sure that they don't, in my opinion.
You want to know something funny? I've been named in over 3,000 small claim lawsuits.
Are you serious?
I was a regional manager for a major property management for corporate America.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
I oversaw over 3,500 doors on a monthly basis.
Gotcha.
I don't even know why they'd name you individually.
Because I'm going to sue you, the company you work for, and the owner of this property. That's why.
Yeah, well, it just shows you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly. You know what I'd tell him, Chris? Make sure you spell my name right. Just so everybody knows, if you're managing property for profit, you're an agent for the owner and not a party in the action and can be dismissed from the case under most circumstances. Most, not all.
Please leave me in the case, damn it.
What?
Leave me in the case, though. I will. I will make it so expensive and such a pain in the ass for them just for S's and G's.
You could say shits and giggles. This is my channel.
Being recorded, so I'm trying to.
So, Chris was saying that you can go online to find out all of these case, whether HROs or UDs or anything. You can go on there and find it without.
The UDs are like presumably mostly sealed now, unless you have a really good eviction attorney, or they defaulted or something.
Or they default. That's a class I'm going to teach soon for AGLA called Advanced Property Management. I'm going to teach you guys, and David, listen to this because I know this has happened to you before, where you guys sign a stipulated agreement in court, right? You guys agree to get out, you agree to pay him money, whatever you guys agree to, and then it comes out to move out date and the tenant's not gone yet. They stay over 1 or 2 days. You can file something called a declaration of noncompliance and reverse that stipulated agreement and make the eviction show on the credit report, make the money due, make them, yes, it is called I just said it and now it lost my brain. Help, Chris.
Declaration of something.
Declaration of noncompliance. There we go. I'm like, help someone. Declaration of noncompliance. Okay, you file that with the court. In some LA cases, you have to do an ex parte hearing and go back in front of the judge in order to unseal the record. In most other courts, that's not a requirement for a trial appearance. Okay. And then it unseals the record. Everything shows that on their credit report, the money's owed, all of it. It just undoes everything you guys signed and agreed to because they didn't comply.
That goes
Okay.
under what you call time is of essence or something like that, right?
Well, you put time is of the essence in their stipulated agreement. So when they say I'm going to be out at 5:00 on the 12th and they're not gone on the 13th, you can go down to the courthouse and file a declaration of noncompliance. That declaration of noncompliance should reverse the sealed record. Okay.
Thank you.
Future class coming, we're calling it advanced property management.
Patty, I have a question.
Yes. And I'm eating my lunch, so thank you guys.
No problem. For my small claims, when they finish paying it off, I have to file something like I think
A
it's like an
certificate of
abstract.
completion. It's a satisfaction of judgment.
Oh, satisfaction of judgment. Okay, is that? Well, I'm assuming I have to go to like the courthouse and do that.
Yeah,
But
you
is
may
it like
be able to do it online.
I don't know how. I've never done this before, so I don't know what I have to.
You know,
Sweetheart,
AI does a really good job of like answering basic legal questions. As long as you specify you're in California, that's all I'm gonna say.
Thank you,
Okay.
Chris.
But look up you just gotta, the important thing you gotta do is look at where it's getting it from and go read that and
Okay.
kind of have some judgment about what's an authoritative source and what's not.
Okay. Got
Chris,
it.
can you just repeat that? I missed where you said.
I was just saying that a lot of things like that are pretty easy to answer with AI. Like
Google.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Google
did.
AI, and then
Well, I did chat GPT, like, and they said that I do have to, because I'm like, oh, once they once they finish paying, they finish paying. That's it. And then I looked into, I'm like, oh shoot, do I have to do something on my part? And then it said, yeah, I have to file something. So I'm assuming that's
judgment.
That paperwork. But I'm assuming it's like an easy process, like maybe like I'll be done within the day or something, or hopefully sooner than that.
probably just a piece of paper that you fill out and file with the court, and like maybe
Bingo.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Satisfaction of judgment requires a signature of the
judgment creditor, probably.
creditor. Yes, thank you. And just saying that there's a satisfaction of judgment. And then it'll show that their debt's been satisfied, not that their case has been dismissed. Don't make the mistake.
To ensure that I don't make that mistake. So then just make sure it says satisfied.
Satisfaction of judgment. You don't want, and look, if you guys ever dismiss a case, you need to know one thing. It doesn't exist anymore. Dismissed means it's gone. It doesn't exist. It's gone. It never existed. So when you go to court and you say, we had a case about this. No, you didn't. It was dismissed. It didn't exist. It doesn't exist. And nobody can see anything about it. It's toilet paper.
Live without prejudice. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry.
Dismiss without prejudice means you can come back.
Okay, you can. Okay. So that is not toilet paper then.
Well, you can go back. It doesn't exist. See what I mean? You can't sue somebody twice for the same thing.
Okay.
Okay? That's what I mean by that. It doesn't exist. You can go back. It doesn't exist. You never sued them before.
Okay. So if it winds up being a case where it's outside of the parameters, they always say you can only go back 12 months. So if the amount that tenant still is owing you, you can go beyond that if you go to small claims court, can you? Okay, then you can. Okay, I just wanted to be sure. Thank you.
Limit in small claims is $12,500.
only if, I think it's only if it's in an individual's name, it's only 6,000 if it's in a company.
Ah, got you.
Mhm.
You're correct.
But I'm told you can do it twice in 1 year, so you can.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. You can't do it 3 times in 1 year, though.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to
They'll
confirm.
put you on a naughty list. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Okay, thank
Santa
you.
won't let you sit on his lap later. Were you bad? The Easter Bunny's not coming. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, you guys. Can you imagine us as adults being told that? Guess what? The Easter Bunny's just not coming this year.
So
All right.
this,
Anybody have anything else?
yeah, this problem with everybody having a great deal of vacancies, do you think this is temporary or do you think this is the long haul? And do you believe that it's only in California? Is it a California thing? It's across the whole nation? Do you have any idea?
I can't speak for other areas and what they're building.
Okay.
I can tell you that based on my experience, what I tend to be seeing looks very similar to me as what I saw in 2006 when the real estate market crashed.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Look at it this way. People have a shit ton of vacancies. We can't fill them up. And they're building new housing all over the place. But why? We can't fill our vacancies. It doesn't make sense. Okay. Same thing happened in '07. Remember '06, '07? Does it sound familiar? They were doing lending called option arm lending, right? Where they were letting you borrow more than what you owed every month by putting part of your payment on the balance of the principal. They're back doing that again, and they have been for several years, but they don't call it option arm.
They're not doing
Called something else. Go ahead, Chris.
they're not doing ninja loans anymore, are they?
They're doing weird stuff. Yes, they are. They're
But
doing
not
what I
no
call
income, no job.
creative lending. Creative lending. Okay.
Mm.
They're doing stated income instead of factual income. So if you tell them you make $1 million, you just go tell them, yeah, I made $1 million last year. And they'll go, okay, then you qualify to get this house. Okay, that's what we're talking about. People that aren't qualified to get loans are getting loans to purchase properties because they're trying to sell them, okay, to whomever. So we're starting to see all those things. The other thing that's tipping it off is the concession wars are beginning. People are offering 2 months of free rent on a 1 year lease. Oh, okay, Patty. We're seeing that in high dollar areas. Okay. High dollar tenancies are offering 1 to 2 months of free rent on a 1 year contract. Ugh. And I want to tell you, don't go that route. It gets real nasty later down the road. Okay. Everybody understands why they shouldn't do 1 month's free rent or amortize it over a 12-month period, correct?
Absolutely.
If anybody needs to understand why they shouldn't amortize a lease concession over a 12-month period, let me know right now and I'll explain to you why.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
I have a question about collections. Is it possible? I'm waiting on a money judgment. I've been waiting, filed for it. My lawyer filed for it. Apparently, the courts are slower on collections than they are on
It
eviction.
takes them about 6 months to issue a money judgment.
Yep.
On a 585, if not longer.
Yep. So
Okay.
once I get it, do I have to sign an assignment with the collections? Is there any way around that? I don't even understand what exactly an assignment is.
Okay. Look at it this way and just follow me along, okay?
Mhm.
Let's now look at that as no longer being an eviction court case, but let's look at it as being a collection court case.
Mhm.
See how I still use the word court?
Mhm.
It's still a legal action, okay? So right now, if you went with Michael Brennan as your legal counsel, sorry, don't mean to put anybody on blast, but I kind of got this figured out. and Michael Brennan's law firm is not going to be doing the collections, another attorney will be. Then they will assign, it's a substitution of attorney to assign Brennan out and the new attorney in to work it as a collection court case. Because then, you know how we are waiting for the writ of possession so that we could get them out? On the collection side of things, you're looking for a writ of execution so the sheriff can go garnish their wages with their employer.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, that's called a writ of execution. It's the difference. It's an look, a writ of possession gives you property back. Possession is the key word there. A writ of execution forces a sheriff to do something. Okay? Like garnish your wages at your place of employment.
If Brennan did collections, could it stay with them or you need separate people?
Yes, I was just explaining so that she would understand all it is a substitution of attorney.
Gotcha.
And I'll tell all you guys right now, Fast Evictions does an amazing job at collections. They have a 85% rate at the 5-year mark, and they are on a 60-40 split. Everybody else is usually 50-50. They give you 60% of everything that they collect, including fines, fees, and interest.
Yeah, that's who I want to use.
I can only say all of that because I worked for them.
Well, and the attorney I used, who you mentioned by name, I won't mention it.
I didn't mean to. I just threw the name out there.
Well, that's my attorney.
Okay.
And I met up with him, the best way for me to meet up with him, by the way, and maybe was at the AOA convention, by the way.
Okay.
I cornered him. And he said, yeah, I don't do them. And he explained, it's a slow process and I understand that. And he recommended me to another high profile attorney there at the convention, who everybody here I'm sure knows, I won't say names, and said, ask him to not make you do an assignment, but I'd rather use Fast Evictions. And I can do that, right?
Yes, but you're going to do the assignment.
Okay. And is there any downside to the assignment?
No.
No. Okay.
Look, you guys, I'm going to teach you something right now. An assignment of attorney means you fired this one and you hired a new one.
Okay.
That's all it is. And you could do that at any time during a court trial, during a case, during anything.
Okay.
Okay. Substitution of attorney. You're substituting one of them out and a different one in.
Okay. Well, I can't wait to get that money, Judge.
Think of it like a pitch hitter. Okay.
Is there a difference between that and actual assignment of the debt itself
Yes, there is a difference between the assignment of the debt, but we're talking about having one attorney do the eviction and a different attorney do the collections.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. You need a substitution of attorney, no?
Probably, but there's
absolutely.
As far as like whether I think there's anything wrong with that, no, you're using a different specialist for a different aspect.
Correct, absolutely. And that's what she was asking me about.
Oh, because I looked at the chat and it said assignment of the money judgment. That's all.
Yeah, what is the assignment of the debt then? What exactly is that?
You're assigning, you're not assigning the debt to them. You're assigning the collection case to them.
Okay.
If you assign the debt to them, you sold it to them and you don't own it anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
And nobody wants to do that. And nobody's going to buy your debt, honey. We got enough of it ourselves.
Yep.
A quick question, Patti.
Yeah.
If you want to give 1 free month rent, I can still do month to month and put a promissory statement saying that after 12 months, you get that 1 free month instead of doing 1 whole year lease. Is that possible?
The 13th month is free.
So I'm not locked into a year lease with anyone.
The 13th month is free.
Yeah, but you got to watch out because do you want to do that again? Like, do you want another 13-month lease?
Yeah, right.
Got to be drafted really well.
Yeah. You're better off putting it in writing, and you're better off writing it in there as a concession. and handling it in that format. All right, anybody else have anything?
Thank you.
All right, you guys have a great week. If you need me, you know how to find me. I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thanks.